Thank you very much. Okay. All I can see on the screen is the bit about the virtual meeting and inviting right now. So unless something's done, right. 40520, declarations of disposable pecuniary interest. Do I have any?
No, thank you.
No. Okay, thank you. Right, moving on to 40620's apology for absence.
I have not received any. In fact, I think we're all here.
Right, great, that's good. Okay, 40720, to confirm the minutes of the committee meeting held on the 16th of July 2020, received accounts on the 28th of July to be confirmed as a true record and signed and initialed by the committee chairman. Is everybody happy with the minutes?
I am, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I can't see any hands up, so just speak up when you want to speak, please.
Can you go back to that page a minute, Ros?
Certainly can.
Right, if you go 40720, the minutes, July 2020 to confirm as a true record. So before anyone signs it, take out your second AS.
Will do.
All right, we have a nice grammar correction, so that's good. Okay, moving on. 40820, allotment officers report. Her last report, or anyway, what do we have from the officers report, please?
Well, Carl, let's go to Carl first.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, that's it. And that's a very pretty picture we have up there.
It's lovely.
Yes.
Okay, so the allotment clearance and allocations are all ongoing slowly but surely. Unfortunately, some of the tenants we've had to serve notice to quit through various issues. Others have taken on plots through the year, but one particular plot on Berry Road has been given up twice.
Oh, good.
So it's a vacant again. We've had the asbestos removal from Berry Road. That was about a ton, equated to about a ton of asbestos in the end.
Wow.
That equated to £900. We've got a bit of an issue with livestock numbers. People have increased beyond the amount which has been agreed. The grass cutting hasn't been brilliant, but I plan to walk around the site with one of their operatives to make sure they know which areas need cutting. I think we've only had 3 cuts this year, so we need to sort of address that. And we've arranged for Iverdi to come in on a 5-day extra day work program. I think we've got 4 days for Mumford Road in the help of clearing, and 1 day at Icknell Way with the same sort of thing, just having a clear up. And that's it, really.
Could I ask a question, Carl? It's Chris, please. The £900 of asbestos, is that what it costs to take away?
Yeah, the total cost, the net amount was £895, but with VAT, £1,074. Yeah, that was to collect and dispose of. Yeah.
Collect and dispose. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Could I just ask a question, please, Dennis?
Yes, of course, Brother.
What are we doing about the tenants that are overstocking on livestock?
Carl.
Hello?
What are we doing about the tenants who are overstocking livestock?
Well, I highlight it. I mean, some of it's gone back to, it's got a bit of the history. Some of it goes back to last year. We have, I think we are in a process of serving a notice to quit to one tenant. I think he's got a total of about 50 birds.
Oh, God.
But it seems to be on the increase. Others are gradually increasing theirs, and it looks like it's a business. It's not for just personal use. It's to sell on, I suppose. So it needs addressing. We don't really have a policy in place, I don't think.
What
Well,
a lot
we do.
Our
We do.
policy says 10, yes.
Six.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Six.
what's the policy on if they abandon them and things like that? We've had one tenant who appears to have just walked away and left us with the chickens. So we need to have something in place to address them sort of issues.
Yeah, I think we have to do the notice to quit to people who are not following the rules. We give them a warning if they don't do it. Did we have any joy with the RSPCA at all?
They attended and they taped round the enclosure to see if anyone had gone in, but that seems to be as far as they went.
Right.
I had no feedback from them. It just sort of went on and on and on. In the end, I found a home from them myself because out of concern, really. No one was going in to clean them or anything like
Yeah,
that.
fine. Well,
Can I-
well. so-
Sorry,
Yeah, go on, Jen.
can I ask, Carl, the allotment that's overrun with chickens or hens, whatever you call them, what site is that on? Do we know? Well, you obviously know, but what site is that on, please?
It's on Mumford Road.
It is on Mumford Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right. There is a farm, I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, that will take abandoned chickens. And then what they do is they rehome them.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what we need to be put in, so we've got somewhere to go to if we
Well-
need them.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll see if I can find the post that I'd seen it on, and maybe then that way pass it on,
Yeah.
and maybe we can contact them.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jen. That'd be very helpful. Roz, did you have something to say?
I just think as well, if we're doing the signage for the water by the water butts and stuff, maybe we should have some signage around on the chickens to get some design for that. And if we could do the mobile, so that if we have a plot holder that's problematic, we could just stick the signage on their allotment saying, no chicken, this is the numbers of this chickens on this allotment. So we've got some proper permanent ones, but we write to them directly as well. But it's sort of like a public announcement to people as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it's, I mean, to put it actually on the allotment, we guarantee that somebody would read it, definitely. So that's a good idea.
And
Now,
it would say to
what's
the other
our
allotment
ruling
holders
now?
as well that that's not okay.
What is our ruling now on the amount of livestock? Because I think Jen pulled me up and told me it was 6, and when I had said 10, so.
It depends on the size of the plot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I think it had gone down because of the overgrowth of these chickens and that. That I've got me regulations in front of me at the minute, but I'm sure it was we downloaded it to 6, but no cockerels, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Because of the residents and the noises.
Mhm.
But I mean, if they're growing and growing, I think the maximum was 10. But as Roz said, it was on the size of the plot.
Depending on the plot, yeah. Okay.
It's a pity, really, that we couldn't. The RSPCA wouldn't work with us on the fact that if somebody applies to put chickens on their plot, that if they would give us a questionnaire. If they would do us a thing, and when people say we're going to have chickens on, that these people have to fill out a questionnaire if they can care for them or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't agree with livestock being on allotments, but but that's my personal view. But yeah, I think we need to really address that, though.
I think the concerns is from the allotments perspective is you are there to grow food or to supply food for your family, right? You could have a big family, but If you've got 50 chickens, I think that's a bit over the top.
That's a business, isn't it? That's not that's a business.
Has this person been on the allotments for years and just taken other people's chickens?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
He's
Pardon?
So,
he's brought them in himself. He didn't have them originally. About 3 years ago, he didn't have that many. He acquired 2 more plots. One in a friend's name who I've never actually seen on there. So he's got 3 plots in all.
right. Well,
Well, so it'd be 6 to 10 chickens per plot. Still only makes it 30, doesn't it?
You're allowed 10 chickens a full plot, 5 for half a plot. But I think we ought to go back to have it per tenant. So 10,
Yes,
up to 10 chickens per tenant, not how many plots they've got.
yes, totally agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. Because has there been some problems, Carl, on the London Road allotments with a gathering of chickens and the cockerel being over there?
They had various cockerels. They did have like a blanket email sent to all the tenants. I think most of them have sorted them, but I think I still heard 1 or 2 still on there. But
Yeah.
their numbers are increased also on London Road.
Okay.
Right.
So is it the will of the committee that we post things on the individual sites where there are livestock isn't in too much abundance? Is that the will of the committee?
It is for me, Mr. Chairman, but I think that the idea of 10 maximum per tenant,
Yes, I think that's a very good one.
not per plot. I agree with Carl on that one because
Mhm.
you know, if you're getting people getting allotments in different names,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do we have to make that well, we have to change our regulations for that. So we have to have an agreement on that, don't we? Chris says I agree.
Yeah, well, you do, but I'm not sure you can do it under this agenda number. We're
Yeah.
talking, of course, about that, but there's no notice of.
No, that's true enough.
I think we'd have to bring it back, guys, actually.
That on
But I
the
think
agenda?
it's a good proposal to look at, but because it's about changing our allotment agreement, so we need to look at that.
That's
Yeah.
right. You
Can
could
you
do
put that?
you could do
on-
notices on the you could place these notices on the tenants' allotments. That would be a good way forward, and you wouldn't need agreement to do that anywhere.
We just have to agree as a committee. We can do that. So there's no.
Yeah, you don't even have to recommend it. You just have to agree. That's what you're going to do as an action.
And can I say that on the next allotment meeting that we have that as an agenda item?
Yes, indeed, I'll do that.
And
Chickens on allotments.
and give Alan something to do. So that's fine.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Chris, for that information.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yeah. Okay. Any more officers' report, Carl?
The only other one is, what's your views on keeping rabbits? I mean, we have got a plot owner who keeps rabbits, and I believe they breed them.
No.
But there's no enclosures for them as such. They're just in a hutch. I mean, if you look at the RSPCA recommendation, they recommend that you have some sort of run for them to exercise.
Well, as far as I know, the regulations state only fowl, chickens, and ducks are allowed on the site. We're not allowed any other animals. Well, we used to years ago have pigs on the sites, but we disallowed that. So, Rosalind, yes, Ros, rabbits are allowed.
Yep,
I've never read that rule.
Yep. it's
But
I
now
think
we have
the
that's what-
national agreement. It's what the
That-
national allotment stuff says.
National-
Of course, tenants have to apply by the law. So in terms of you know, animal husbandry and stuff, they have to keep the animals in a proper state. So maybe what we should be doing is really getting a good relationship with the RSPCA officer. He lives next door to Sylvia. You know, we've had lots of interaction with the past, and he's actually quite good. So it's a case of what you know, getting additional support for Carl when he's having to deal with these issues. But we don't,
Well, Carl seems to think there's a welfare issue there, so we need to look into that. So yeah, we need to contact the RSPCA officer and see what he think the housing of the animals are proper, you know.
It's all right keeping rabbits in hutches as long as you're going up there every day and letting them out into their run. The trouble when you let a rabbit out into their run, like we did in our garden in London, is you go out there and they've dug a hole under your fence and you find them, you know, halfway down the road in someone else's garden. I don't know. So we need advice from the RSPCA, because the last thing we want is the rabbits getting out of their confined areas and eating everybody's growth for the year.
Well, I think we've discussed that. I think we need to contact the officer from the RSPCA and get a more.
He might help us write up some rules. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. Get him more involved if we can. If they're willing to be involved with our allotment committee, that would be very helpful to us, I'm sure. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I just come in there, please?
Of course you can.
I daren't put my hand up on this thing because I'll get kicked out again. Carl, how many rabbits are there?
Well, then they're not. They haven't over exceeded the amount. I guess total livestock they've probably exceeded by 2. But the lady was happy to sort of divulge all what was going on to one of our office staff, and it just ran alarm bells. You know, if she's breeding rabbits up there, which I guess she's selling, if they were to escape, get out, we'd have a problem.
We'll have problems, won't we? But there is I noticed under the animal safety thing, but licensing at Breckland, they have to have a special license for breeding and everything. They have to be checked out by the licensing. If she's admitted breeding them, then really, I mean, that we might end up with Breckland walking in, mightn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it's become if they're just breeding them, it's a business, and that's not what allotments are about. It's about
no, that's right.
Cheap land to enable you to feed your family.
Yeah, I agree with what Roz has just put up. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to read it all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, they are rabbits.
No.
Right, thank you.
No.
So I think we can have a conversation with them about that. The rabbits should be for eating, and if they're not for eating, then they shouldn't be on the site.
Okay.
Right.
Very good. Thank you. So a letter off to a letter, or do we just want somebody to approach her personally?
I think a letter's required, isn't it? I'll have a look to see what I can find online.
I think a letter as a paper trail is more advisable than just a verbal chat.
Yeah.
Because then they've actually got it in writing that they've sort of stood outside the lines as such.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So is that the end of our allotment officer's report?
There's a couple of bits on safety, but I think that's further on in the meeting.
Okay, then. So it's 40920, the dreaded budget, which I missed the last time. So I'm not touching the machine so I can see it. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not good. Yeah. The allotment fees are beginning to come in. Alan will tell you a little bit more about that in a bit on the agenda. This year we've done the Berry Road allotment fencing because that bill came in, and we've been doing some plot clearing. So we're all right on the budget. Has anybody got any questions?
I have, when you put that 409 up, Ros, the budget update,
Yeah.
that's when I get kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've just been pushed out again, and it was just not this page, this is fine, it's the next page when I showing the allotment hold rep.
So that one, when I put that one up, you got kicked
That's
out.
it. So expect me to disappear again.
Oh no!
No, can't do that.
Oh dear.
Okay. So going over the budget, it looks reasonable, doesn't it, Ros?
Yeah,
Go on.
it's not too bad. But the issue is that the water consumption, which we just talked out with the allotment holders, is really getting excessive. And at the moment that is in the personnel budget under kind of utilities, but that will have to be aggregated back to the allotments because it's going to be too much. So that will put us over. And it does mean that if we don't do anything about the water, we will not have any projects next year on the allotments. And actually, maybe that's a good thing, because with what's happening, maybe just a year of getting everything straight.
Into it.
But we will have to tackle the water usage, because I think the issue is not that people that the new policy, but that people are just not, they're just ignoring it. They're using as much water as they want. So I think.
Yeah, it was a bit obvious from the thing that from the bills and everything that the people are just using water as and when they like, kind of thing. I mean, certain people, I'm sure not everybody is, but so we can't leave it now and let them worry about it.
No, and I think so I think we'll develop some signage and stuff, but I think we need to be getting the message out there that unless there's a significant reduction in water usage, we'll be seeing significant increases in the allotment fees.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be getting that message out there, because this is just not sustainable.
Is this a letter to each allotment holder? Or
yeah, I think we need to email all the allotment holders. We need to get the allotment representatives, and we need to get signage all over the site, because this has got to come down.
Can I just butt in there?
Yeah.
When you put that document up, you kicked me out, and all I've got is Chris Harvey is on hold.
Oh,
So come through on my telephone.
Sorry, Brenda.
Yeah, it's just kicked me out. I don't know if anyone else has got Chris Harvey is on hold, so whether you kicked him out.
Is Chris
I
back
can
in?
hear you. I can.
Oh, good.
You did the same with Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny got kicked out too.
Yeah, it won't let me back in now.
Or what happened?
So
Why didn't I get kicked out? I'm feeling left out here. No.
Yeah, I can hear everyone. The only thing I haven't got is the papers on the screen. So I went to chat and then put the hand up earlier on and then come back, and the papers are gone. But I can hear everyone talking. It's not an issue.
Yeah, Chris, that's exactly what happened to me this morning at cemeteries. I could not see anything. All I could do was hear what was going on, and people could hear me, but I had no papers in front of me to work with. So
all I've got is Chris Harvey is on hold.
So I've got the papers back now. I'm up to budget. I'm on the budget update.
I just keep getting kicked out, Mr. Chairman, when it gets to this page. I've been out.
I'm no longer on the budget page. I've got a picture of Carl. Hi, Carl. and all your initials in front of me, but I'm not on the actual documents anymore. And I haven't touched my...
Okay.
I've got nothing. I'm on my phone.
I think we just need to crack on now, don't we?
I think he's gone again, Dennis.
Dennis still on my screen. Dennis, everyone's still in.
Yes, I know, but I think he finished a part sentence, didn't he? And it just means that he's probably
Have we lost Jen and Dennis and Chris as well?
I've just managed to get back in.
I'm still here.
Oh, good. Good. Okay.
Well, I'm not there. I can't see a thing. I can only hear you because I'm coming through on my phone. The only screen I've got is when I join the meeting. I've got Chris Harvey is on hold.
Tom, have you got any, Joe, have you got any suggestions about what they could do in terms of the technical stuff? Yeah.
I can't agree with you there because I can't agree with you there because I wasn't doing anything. I was as soon as Ros changed that document from the budget to the next one, that was it. I was kicked out. So yeah.
I was going to say, what are you doing on tomorrow, folks? Or Monday? When's the? I'm just thinking, because we've got the special meeting on the 20th. So I'd like to get this fixed before then. Is there a way we can? Brenda, Jen, Dennis.
Well, I just keep getting cut out. I mean, I'm not touching the equipment or anything, but it started when you went onto a certain page with the budget, and now it's happening again with this.
Yeah. Would you be able to come in tomorrow to the Carnegie? Dennis, Brenda, Jen.
I
think
think
we've got.
we need to go, I think. I can't come in until the afternoon. I'm babysitting in the morning till 12.
Right. Could we set up an appointment at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I reckon. As long as I can get home. Well, it might be slightly after. Depends what time the daughter-in-law gets home. But yeah, okay.
Hello. I've been out of this committee meeting for a while now.
We have just been talking about what we're going to do, Dennis. I think
Yeah.
are you
Well,
around?
I've only just got in again.
Are you around tomorrow at all?
Me?
Well, what we're thinking about doing is a 1 o'clock meeting tomorrow at the Carnegie.
Yeah,
And-
I can do that. Mm-hmm.
And then if we can just go through this again, as it were, but with Tom and Joe in the room. So
I'm very glad to hear that. That would be a very good suggestion. It'll save me burning this machine.
I would really like to have because we've got another meeting on Tuesday and I'd like to get it sorted before then.
Yeah, if we could have a social distancing tomorrow, I would be appreciative.
Would that be all right with people? And then I'll go upstairs into Tina's office and I'll run the meeting as I normally would. And then Joe and Tom can see what's happening at your end.
Thank you.
Yes, I say what I've done is I came out. I turned it off completely.
Yeah.
I've come back in. I've rejoined the meeting, and all I've got on my screen is Chris Harvey is on hold.
All I've got on my screen is you've joined the meeting, it being recorded, privacy policy. Blank screen other than that. I did the same thing you did, Brenda. I've got a hands up signal in the corner of the screen. And I never touched my machine, so it wasn't.
Again.
And I think it seems to be me, so I'm doing something. Brenda's
You
blaming
keep
me.
kicking us out.
No, I'm not. But yeah, let's do that. Let's try that then. Who have we got on the committee? So that's 4 people plus Joe and Tom, so that's our 6. And that's going to be at the Carnegie. Who else? Do you think? Is anybody else having problems? Okay.
But he doesn't use the council tablet.
I've just got thrown out again, and
I've just got in.
I'm not within 3 foot of my tablet, so it's not me.
Well, I'm listening to you through the phone, which is a pain in the bum.
Right, lovely.
Anyway, you can carry on with the meeting because I'm coming in through my phone. I'm getting everything. I think you've got up priorities, review, and ideas. Is that right?
Yes, that's where I'm up to.
Right. So yeah, my phone's working. You can carry on.
I cannot see the paperwork.
Okay, Dennis, I'm going to talk through these. So basically, this was about ideas for priorities going forward for 21-22 for the allotments, and just to do a review of what we've achieved this year. So our priorities were working with the Allotment Association to develop the role of the allotment representatives, providing a clear job description, handbook, and in training to ensure volunteers can play a more active role in the allotment associations. So we wanted to make sure representative views were considered in managing the allotments, and we had clarity about best practice on the allotments with paid and staff volunteers giving the same information. So we produced the handbook, and I think the allotment representatives have been much more involved. So I think we've achieved that one. The second one, we probably need to do some more work on communicating with the handbook. But as we've done quite a lot with the allotment software, we haven't really moved into that zone, but that will be the next job to do. We work with the allotment committee to work with allotment associations to apply for external funding, and we applied to the National Lottery in the Awards for All grant, and Berry Road, not Berry Road, the Thetford, London and Gutton Association were the key applicants. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the small grant pot was suspended, but we have been re-invited to reapply. But I wouldn't recommend we do that until October 2021. So probably this time next year. Because that grant was all about social stuff and events and promoting activities. And I don't think there's any point of doing it unless we know that the COVID stuff is mostly over. So so that's been put on hold. So that's not one to go forward. We talked about the security and solar lighting. And actually, Chris has done some work on that. Chris, do you want to say a little bit about the lighting?
Well, I can do it now. I can do it under my health and safety report. It's entirely down to yourself.
Okay, let's do it under your health and safety report. That sounds good.
Right,
And
right.
then we had a look at boreholes, which we went and did a site visit to a gentleman's house that had one in Thetford, and we looked into the costs, and it was just too expensive in terms of our budget. So we've kind of put that on. Mark did us some guidance about wildlife, which has gone into our handbook, which is great. So that I think we've kind of done the majority of our priorities, and it was really now asking for people for ideas from the allotment holders and from your visits and stuff about what our priorities should be for next year. Oh, Dennis is out. Hi, Dennis. Can you not get in at all?
I've just got back in. Yeah, I've just come back in.
Okay.
Done? No.
Guys, I've got Dennis on the phone, and he's saying he's been kicked out again. He can't really go on at the moment. do we want to resend out the agenda for this meeting to happen maybe next Friday? And then we can have a dummy run tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And then we'll rerun the meeting on next Friday in the afternoon at 1. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I'll have to double check my duties as a babysitter, but I will get back and let you know.
Just let me whiz through, because we had the priorities, the health and safety, then the allocations, and the correspondence committee update. We haven't got any individual tenant issues. There's the committee officers update doesn't really exist. The correspondence was there wasn't anything particularly there. So really, actually, the main things still to do was ideas for priorities, which people could do by email, I guess. And then it was the health and safety and the allotment software. Alan, what do you think? Do you think we should postpone this meeting now without our chair being able to access?
Rosna, I agree with you. I think it's the best thing to do, because we're not quorate at certain parts of the meeting.
Yeah.
And I think it's just must be very frustrating for the councillors.
Yeah.
To attend the meeting and miss half of what's actually said, and it must be very frustrating for the public as well.
Yeah, I think so.
So I
Well,
would,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Brenda.
Well, I shut my tablet down. I started it up again, and I got kicked out again.
Right.
Right,
So-
what I'll do,
As soon as you try to get back in, you know, I thought, oh, that's it. And I turned my phone off, and I had to start my phone up again, because you was rabbiting away, and I thought, I can't answer you.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't think we can continue. Let's have our meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then if councillors wouldn't mind, we'll reschedule this meeting again for the following Friday.
yeah, that's okay. What I'll do, if I can, if I send you my report by email as well, just in case I'm tied up babysitting, okay?
Lovely. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Is that all right, Dennis? It's committee councillors. How do you feel?
How many of us here? Is it just me on the phone and Chris?
No, and me. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I said too.
But you're good.
Yeah, sorry.
Is Jenny there?
Yeah. But you're going to come in tomorrow at 1 o'clock to the Carnegie, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, but can Jenny hear you?
Yeah.
she's not in the meeting.
She's not in the meeting, you see.
No.
Dennis is
All
not
right.
in the meeting. We're saying
Okay,
we're
then,
meeting at 1
Dennis, we'll
o'clock.
see you at the Carnegie at 1, and I'll deal
All
with the customers. All right. Cheers.
Chris,
I think
Bye.
I think you might have to email that, Rod.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it out to everybody, and I'll give Jen a ring. So we'll postpone the meeting now, and we'll have a dummy run of it again tomorrow to find out what the problems are, and then we'll reschedule it again properly.
Right, just before you go,
Yep.
you're talking about Friday the 23rd at 1 o'clock,
Yep.
and it'll be a reissue of this agenda, albeit I could update some of the things that we talked about and do that. So,
Yeah.
So I'll send it out. Now, the only trouble is the papers would have gone out for the full council, so we'll have to table it. So that won't be too much of an issue.
No. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Right. Right. Okay. Oh, what a nuisance.
I knew it weren't me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yep.